Note, the following video contains spoilers for the series Heroes. I would suggest watching the series before watching this video. If you don't really care, go ahead and watch the video, but just know you have been warned. Hey guys, it's me, 50, and welcome to 50's Thoughts, the show where I talk about apparently comic book topics all the time, but it's actually supposed to be a show where I talk about my thoughts and opinions and things that matter to me that week. Sorry for all the superhero-based, topics recently. It's just that's something that interests me a lot, so when I have something to say about it, I really want to spread it out to you guys. I know that there are some game stuff that I do want to talk about in later episodes, but I just kind of wanted to talk superheroes today. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. And today I wanted to talk about the TV show Heroes. It's not actually a DC or Marvel topic for once, so at least you have that going for you. But I want to talk about Heroes and kind of what I thought of the show season by season, and kind of tell you what my thoughts and opinions were on it. I was watching it because Heroes Reborn was coming up, and I kind of wanted to get caught up on the series for when Heroes Reborn comes out, and kind of stay on pace with the knowledge of everything that's past and everything that goes on with the show. So, without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into Season 1 and tell you what I thought about it. So let's jump into Season 1 and kind of talk about how Season 1 was. Pretty much, the show starts off, you kind of learn, oh, there's mutants among us, and people are learning that they just got these abilities. And they're trying to figure out these abilities while there's a serial killer on the loose who tries to steal these people's abilities. And there's a prophecy, save the cheerleader, save the world, that goes on in Season 1. And then there's the predictions that the painter Isaac Mendez has that kind of brings the group together in his comic book, surprisingly. And then he has these paintings of New York blowing up, and then they kind of get together in order to stop the nuclear bomb from going off. I'm going to try to keep spoilers to a minimum, but if there are spoilers, I'm just going to give you guys like a 3, 2, 1 mute warning at the bottom of your screen, because I really don't want to spoil this series, but I do want to talk about the ideas that, got me frustrated and angry with the series. And I gotta say, if they kept this writing, this series would have had 5 stars for me, right? If they kept writing the series this way, 5 stars all the way. Because it was just so well put together, and it was so well written. If you watch the show, you'll understand what I mean by that. You have all these really amazing characters. You learn to hate Nathan and Mama Petrelli. You really learn to hate those characters, and I don't want to say it, but it kind of sticks with you throughout the whole season because you hate how stupid they can be and how self-focused they are, and just their decisions really makes you hate them, even though you want them to be the good guys. Peter Petrelli is the only good Petrelli in the first season, and pretty much throughout the whole show, he's the only good Petrelli. He's the light of the Petrellis, and that at least they kept that through the whole entire Season 1, and they kept it through the later seasons, which I loved about that. They really stayed true to these characters' natures, which they set up in Season 1. You kind of learn about these characters and what they're all about, and that's really what I loved about it. And it's just the characters were so interesting. The kind of group getting together was so interesting to me, and just a lot of the drama that kind of happens in Season 1 it is really interesting too, and that's what I really loved about it. Hayden Panettiere, Jack Coleman, Milo Ventimiglia, the guy that plays Peter Petrelli, and every other actor in there, Zachary Quinto. They do an amazing job at just kind of telling the story in Season 1. And the first season is 23 episodes. They're about 40 minutes each, Some are like over 40 minutes. Some are, yeah, I think the first episode is like 50 minutes, and then all the rest are around 40 minutes. Which that's really good for me. I love shows like Arrow and Smallville that kind of had that time frame for an episode, and I thought that really worked for them within season 1. Because they got the whole story down that they wanted to tell, and I thought that was amazing for season 1. Thank you, Heroes, for doing that in season 1. I gotta say, like, it's hard to choose a favorite episode too, right, from season 1, because all of them are so good. You know, you kind of learn about Peter kind of channeling his abilities. You kind of learn about, Nathan kind of, accepting his ability, even though I don't think he really accepts it all the way through. You kind of learn about, just how these characters get together. The friendship between Hiro and Ando is amazing. The whole, they don't announce it in season 1, but the whole Noah Bennett, secrecy is just amazing, and I love it. And I feel like season 1 is one of those seasons where maybe in like a year I'll watch it again and I'll be like, oh yeah, this is why I love this part of the show, because it's just, that's what made it so good. That part of the show made it excellent for me. But I'm gonna jump into season 2 now and kind of tell you just why it didn't really seem up to par for season 1. So season 2 is like 11 episodes long, same length as season 1, but season 1 had like 23 episodes. So right off the bat, you kind of know it's a little disappointing, and that they were rushed for time. They were just kind of told, hey, you got season 2. We need it out by this, and they're like, okay, well, let's try this storyline. And, they kind of, went down the storyline, but they didn't have enough time to kind of write it all, I guess. Because you have Hiro back in time, you have Peter somewhere in Ireland, and, you kind of have a whole Siler thing again, and, you have, the whole, spoiler alert, assassination of Hiro's father. You just kind of got all this going on, right? You have Adam, which is the regenerative guy, kind of like Claire, from feudal Japan, like now in the modern world, and they're trying to stop him. And the Shanti virus, Shanti virus. Sorry, it felt really rushed, and it felt like they were trying to push too much into 11 episodes. If they would have had 25, 30 episodes to the season, I bet they could have covered everything and make everything well written. Did I like, the stories of Hiro in Japan? Kind of. As much as I wish Ando was with him during that, that's just kind of my opinion. I feel like they should never separated those two. And that was my problem with season 2 with that. You kind of have the Shanti virus like stopping people's abilities and stuff like that, and it was just really, really short, really rushed. And that's why I didn't like about it. Some of these ideas could have been whole seasons long, right? Like, I think the Hiro thing they did right. Have him kind of come back more towards the end of the season. But you kind of have him learning lessons in feudal Japan. But the whole Peter Petrelli thing being stuck in Ireland, I could not stand. Especially him trying to figure out who he was again. I was just like, oh, come on. No, just don't even do that right there. The Shanti virus, I feel like, should have been something that, was kind of spread out more, and yeah, the whole entire, Adam as the villain thing, it made sense for, the feudal Japan part. And it was just kind of weird seeing him in the modern world and things like that. And him kind of being defeated in the way that he did. I was just like, okay, that was definitely rushed. I just feel like the channel that, you know, put it out, I forget if it was NBC or what it was, but it was like, hey, guess what? You guys have a season 2 now, and yeah, you have a couple weeks to write it, and we're gonna go live in about a couple months. And they're like, whoa, we didn't think this out. We didn't even think we were gonna get past season 1. Okay, let's come up with these ideas, and it just felt really rushed, and that was the disappointing part of the season, was how rushed it was. And that kind of goes into season 3 as well, but I'll kind of explain that later on. But, you know, there aren't really that many characters in season 2 that you kind of meet that, you know, you're very interested in. Like, the only character that I was interested in was Adam, right? And that's the guy that Hiro meets back in Japan, which I forget what his name is supposed to be in feudal Japan, like Kensei or something like that. But, you know, he's the only one that you kind of meet and are kind of like, oh, that's an interesting character. All the rest are kind of forgettable, you know, that they introduced into the season. Like Maya, I couldn't really stand Maya. Molly was from season 1. I'm just kind of looking through the episode list on Netflix and trying to see any names that, you know, were brand new in season 2 that, you know, I could remember, and, you know, say, oh, I really like that character. But it just, they didn't have too much going on in season 2, and that's where it fell short. It was just too short to tell anything, and that's really what I didn't like about it. So season 3 is where I'm gonna start raging a little bit, because it is just, oh my gosh, it's season 3 and 4 in season 3, and season 4 is more like season 5, because as you guys know, the show kind of divides itself into chapters, right? Or like books, right? Where it's like end of book 1, end of book 2. So this starts book 3, according to the show. And there are a lot of things that I can say that kind of go wrong here, right? So, like the first episode, right? Pretty much Peter Petrelli from the future goes back in time, and tries, well, he doesn't try to stop Nathan. He pretty much goes and shoots Nathan for almost giving out the secrets of mutant abilities, which, so out of character for Peter Petrelli. I get it, it's supposed to be a future Peter Petrelli that may be dark and everything, but oh my gosh, you just kind of ruined that character for me. I didn't need another evil Petrelli. I really didn't, because I couldn't stand Nathan Petrelli, I couldn't stand Angela Petrelli. So you sent Peter back in time and make me hate Peter too? Come on, writers. You take your one likable character and you make him hateable. That's bad, right? And, you know, current time Peter and Matt kind of try to figure it out, right? And then, like, I don't even remember what happened with that part of the story, but it just kind of went crazy. So then, pretty much, they talk about level 5, which is the in the next episode, which is Noah Bennett's company's, like, deadliest of the deadliest catch, right? And I believe all of them are, you know, kind of released. And the thing is, I think they trap, correct me if I'm wrong, but they trap Peter Petrelli in one of those guys. And it's like, what? What are you? No! No! You have evil Peter walking about as normal Peter, and then you have normal Peter trapped in someone's body. It doesn't make any sense. And it's very frustrating. It truly is frustrating. You know, One of Us, One of Them is the third episode, and Siler becomes a good guy, which that was the part where I was literally screaming at my television. What the hell? Why are you doing this? Within the first 3 episodes of season 3, you've made me like drop a whole trust in the series. And season 4 I don't even remember, and I don't really care what happens there. Season 5, you learn that Daddy Petrelli is still alive. Daddy Petrelli is still alive, and he's evil too. Right? So you have like, I think they finally, I don't know, they probably finally got evil Petrelli out by that episode. But episode 5, there's a new evil Petrelli waiting to replace him, and it's like, oh my god. And for this whole entire book 3, Daddy Petrelli becomes the main villain, and he like he kind of steals people's abilities now, and he's trying to be like the new Siler, and it just did not work for me, right? And they introduced Daphne, right? She's kind of a speedster, and they kind of talk about this whole formula for how to create mutants. Suresh is trying to figure that out, and it doesn't work for him. And to be quite honest, I didn't want Suresh getting powers. I didn't like Suresh, but I didn't think that in order to make him a better character, you needed super abilities on him. That's what I thought was ridiculous. And then, I think Angela Petrelli gets in a coma, which I was, like, screaming, thank God, at that part. But then you kind of figure out that... Oh, another thing, too. Nicole, I think it is, from Season 1? Or Nikki? It's one of those two. Nikki, Nicole, it doesn't matter. Her name changes throughout the whole series. She turns into Tracy Strauss, and her powers switch. Right? First she was this, like, kind of two-faced character, and now she has ice abilities? Get the fuck out, heroes. That's where I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit through this, I'm gonna watch it, and I'm just gonna pretend that I really care what's going on, right? And, they try to make Siler a hero, and, he's trying to feel sorry about himself, and it doesn't work. There's like a whole thing with, what's her name in the show? Elle or something like that. Like, to be quite honest, I liked her character. Like, Kristen Bell, I hate in a lot of films. I hate her acting. But in this show, she did really good, and I really liked her role in it. It's sad, spoiler alert, that she doesn't stay all the way through. But I liked her character a little bit. And then, like, halfway through the series, which I thought this was a great change-up, they had it so the eclipse goes on, and it neutralizes everyone's abilities, and I believe it starts giving people new abilities, if I'm not mistaken. And then, like, I think episode 12 is the end of book 3, which, they finally defeat, the father Petrelli, and I was glad when that part was over. But episode 13 through 25 is even worse, which I thought was not even possible after the first part. So this is book 4 now, right? This is book 4. Halfway through season 3. And Nathan is trying to round up mutants. He gets into office and he's trying to round up mutants. People like him. Trying to round them up and kind of do what the company has done, but with all mutants. All mutants. What the hell? Nathan, these are your people. People like you. And you're rounding them up? You gave Claire Bennett free pass, all right? You gave your family a free pass. But everyone else that you've learned about and, have known through seasons 1, 2, and book 3, you're rounding them up? If you could see my face right now, you would know that I'm in a facepalm at this part of the season. I thought that this concept would have worked if it was not Nathan Petrelli behind the thing. Right? If it was Danko, right? If Danko was, a politician that tried to get this in order to round up these mutants, had the agreement from the president, yes, do it, I think that this would have been better. But if you have you have Nathan Petrelli doing it. Nathan Petrelli. I get it. He's evil. He's evil, but it makes me so frustrated with the series. And to be quite honest, the rest of the season just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And it just got to the point where I couldn't care at all. Right? And I'm just going to jump all the way from episode 13 to 23. 23 was you kind of got Angela Petrelli's origin story there, which it was more likable than the rest of the series, but it was more likable, right? It kind of talks about 1961, Angela Petrelli. I get it, another fucking Petrelli. Had a sister that kind of could control the weather and everything, and, Angela Petrelli let her down, and, she's trying to make amends, but doesn't at the end of the episode, and it's a very interesting episode, and it's probably one of my favorite episodes throughout the whole series, because it makes some sense, and it has a little bit of root there, compared to everything else that's going on in this terribly written story of, Nathan rounding up his own people. That ending there is, or not that ending, but that storyline just plopped right there, where kind of Nathan, Peter, I forgot to mention though, but in one of the episodes, Nathan is totally lost control of his whole operation to Danko, and he's I made a mistake, I'm sorry. Which, that was the only part that I liked about those in-between episodes. He realized he made a stupid mistake, and that's probably the writers, too, just trying to tell the audience, sorry, we made a mistake. I'm so sorry about that. We did not mean for that storyline to go that way. Sorry, won't do it again. Won't make a bad mistake like that again. Which we all know that season 4 will have a little bit of rage in too. So it's all Petrellis and Noah Bennett. So Claire's there, Nathan's there, Peter's there, and Noah Bennett and Angela Petrelli. And then you learn about whatever her sister's name is. I forget what it is. And she shows up at the end of the episode, and they try to have an emotional moment, in which it just didn't sell it for me, because I just couldn't stand Angela Petrelli. So I couldn't stand 2/5 of the people there, and trying to make Angela Petrelli this likable character in this episode didn't really work for me, even though I did like how they were kind of telling pre-origin stories and things like that of how Angela got her abilities. It would have been nice to have that episode in kind of season 1, or at least the recap of how she got her abilities in season 1, maybe as the episode before season 1, but that was one of the bigger episodes that I liked. And then let's jump to the finale, because the finale of season 3 got me so angry. I mean angry at what they tried to do. So, spoilers, I know. I'm gonna put a spoiler warning at the beginning. I probably should stop saying spoilers. But this is the episode I was screaming, yes! Yes! Thank God! Thank God you did this! They kill Nathan Petrelli. Sylar cuts his head open, and yes, Nathan Petrelli is dead. You don't know how long I've been waiting for that. You don't know how long I've been waiting for Nathan Petrelli to die. Because I hated his character. I hated it with so much angst for his character. Because of what he did in Season 3, what he did in Season 2, what he did in Season 1, I just hated him. And he's finally dead. Which I am glad. Right? Dead. Operation's done. Totally forget about it. Sylar kills him. But wait, we can't kill off a character. We can't do that. Not a major character. We haven't done that since Season 1? Season 2? Maybe? So, what do? Sylar gets an ability to shapeshift. And what does Matt Partman do? He replaces all of Sylar's memories with Nathan's. And Sylar becomes Nathan Petrelli. What the hell? You cannot commit to killing a character in Season 3 that you know was not doing what he was supposed to? Get out of here. Stop writing, quit your job as a writer, and maybe get into retail. Because this is the worst idea I've ever heard. You took a character, which I bet other people besides me hated, and just said, yup, we're bringing him back. Because we cannot kill off a character anymore. Yeah. Let's bring him back. So they do that, and that's the end of Season 3. It's just like, they cut it off there, and the thing was, like, Sylar was supposed to be, the president and everything, trying to, I don't know. Or, no, Sylar was supposed to be, I don't even care anymore. It's just, that season ticked me off to no end. Season 4, I have to admit, is better than Season 3 when it comes to rage, but it's not any better. And I'm going to go into why it's not any better than Season 3. Season 3 was the worst season. Alright, so if you have the chance, and you've listened to all these spoilers, which if you have, okay, sorry I spoiled the series for you, but just skip Season 3. You're not missing anything. You're just missing a couple characters turning into different characters, and you just kind of miss some bullshit storylines that, don't really matter. If you want to watch that episode, it's episode, hold on, I gotta check. It is episode 23. Watch episode 23, because that is the only good episode within Season 3. Watch 1961, the episode called 1961. Watch it, and don't watch anything else, because it's bad. Just, I pretty much went over it. If you really want to know more about it, just look it up on, like, IBM or something like that, and yeah. So then we get into the 4th season, and I'm going to talk about that next. I gotta calm down a little bit. I'm sorry. So now that I've calmed down a little bit, let's talk about Season 4. Since Season 4 isn't as bad as Season 3, it's not rageful like Season 3, but it isn't good either, right? This season is 18 episodes long. Shorter than what it normally is, but it does justice to kind of the story that they're trying to tell. So Claire Bennett is in college now, which, okay, I guess. You have Siler running around as Nathan Petrelli, which, oh my gosh, I still can't stand. And the first episode, you learn about a carnival of mutants. And what the carnival is trying to do is they're trying to gather more and more mutants, which is okay, but the leader of the group, let's just say, Samuel, I gotta say, is one of the worst villains. It's not that, I hate him, it's just I didn't feel anything for him. I couldn't like him. I couldn't hate him. I just felt like he was there, and that was it. There was no, there's nothing trying to justify him. There's nothing there that I could really care about for him. He's just there as a villain, which I couldn't stand. Like, not couldn't stand, but just I couldn't care about this villain, and I couldn't care about his motives because of just how he comes off. So you kind of learn about that. You kind of learn that Hero is dying, which I thought was kind of a bad decision as well, because Hero dying, he's one of the more likable characters. He's kind of stayed pure throughout the whole series, and you kind of figure out he's dying. Oh, okay. So then Samuel manipulates him. I don't even know how he was able to do it, since his ability is rock, right? He can move the earth, So I can't remember how he goes back in time. If there was like a time traveler that would take him back in time to where Hero would go back in time, it was kind of, it didn't make that much sense to me when I was watching it. But you kind of see him do that, and he tries to convince Hero to just fix the wrongs in his life before he dies, which goes against what Hero is. But Hero does it anyways, because he still thinks that it's justice, which, okay, I see where you're going for, but I'm not happy with your decision, but I'm not mad at it either. So the thing is, the next episode, they kind of tried to form Siler into Nathan a bit still, which that is kind of just, they should have killed Nathan off in season 3. They should have not done this. They even say it in season 4, like Matt has regrets about it, and I guess that's another conversation from writers to the audience. We're sorry. We messed up. We're not going to do it again. And I believe the network said, yeah, you're not going to do that again since we're not giving you another season. So, like, Angela is trying to, teach Siler, oh, this is what Nathan had, but you're Nathan. So, these are your memories. Don't you remember when you did this? Don't you remember when you did that? No. Please, just skip any parts with Nathan in it for this season, because it's just Siler, and it kind of goes crazy with that. Episode 4, like, they try to make it controversial by having Claire Bennett's roommate be lesbian, and they kind of throw in like a kiss in there, and I think they were trying to do like college experimentation, which sorry, I don't really like that in my shows, so that's more of a personal preference. I don't really like watching that too much. And it was, again, it's a lot of this season is, I'm not happy with it, but I'm not angry at it. I'm just kind of accepting it. And then then like it's hard to explain for me because it's just this season kind of meshed into just the same thing over and over and over again, right? Samuel goes to one of these heroes that we've seen in the previous seasons, tries to recruit them. They kind of visit around and kind of look around, and then they leave. And then, like, people figure out about this place, but it's like, okay, we don't really have any intentions for it. And then, like, there's a whole divorce between Noah Bennett and his wife, which at first you kind of hate Noah Bennett, but then you start liking him a bit towards the end, because you kind of understand what what he had to do for his job and everything. And I just kind of liked him, and because of that, and you kind of feel sorry for him there. And then he starts like hooking up with a coworker from the company, and which that part I guess is okay, but I think they did that to do drama, which. Season 1, something that I forgot to mention with Season 1 is Season 1 was more hero-based. It was. A lot of this other stuff is drama. So, like, there are these tapes that are supposed to show Samuel how powerful he can be, which his brother Joseph keeps from him. It gets into Suresh's hands. Samuel kills Suresh. Hero goes back in time, saves Suresh, destroys the tapes. Or no, saves the tapes because for some reason they thought it was a good idea to bring Charlie back into this. Charlie was the girl from Season 1 that learned all this information and stuff, and then that's how. The one thing that I can respect about Samuel is he knows how to manipulate Hero in this series, which I thought was great. I really liked that part, right? And I liked that kind of drama, right? Where, the drama was more for the character, right? In order to make a decision. The drama that they had in like Season 3 was more just there because they can put it there, right? Just to, turn eyes and, get people thinking of, okay, whoa, didn't see that coming. Whoa, didn't see that coming. Well, at least with this drama, it keeps you kind of tuned in to think, okay, how is Hero going to get out of this situation? Which that was the part that kept me watching Season 4. The thing with, like, Claire and her roommate, that I couldn't care for. That kind of drama, the teen drama, I can't. I'm a teenager, and I don't even like that. Teen drama just doesn't appeal to me, so I'd rather not have shows have that, and I kind of went over that. And then you kind of see, like, Peter, like, is limited to one ability now. He can only pick up one ability at a time, which I kind of liked, since in like Season 2 and 3, he was like turning into Superman almost, along with Sylar. And it's like, okay, we got two super overpowered mutants here. One of them is evil, and the other one's not, right? But it didn't seem necessary to have two overpowered characters. And I like heroes when they're more simpler, right? That I liked Batman because his only superpower is knowledge and is money. Arrow, it's his gadgets, right? With Flash, it's his super speed. He can use that super speed in many ways, but it's super speed. That's all you have to classify it as. When you're saying, oh, well, he can regenerate, he can shoot laser beams out of his eyes, he has electricity and all these other abilities, that's where I'm like, he's just pretty much Superman. Let's just put it at that. He's just Superman. So I liked it when he was reduced down to one ability, and he's tries picking up these different abilities to save lives, which is really true to his character, and I love that about Peter in this series or this season. But sometimes it kind of had you wanting more, right? And then you have like all these meetings with Samuel. Heroes kind of going crazy in an episode and speaking in comic book talk in order to save Suresh and things like that. Noah is trying to stop Samuel. Claire is kind of falling into Samuel's trap. And, Samuel, by the end of the season, right, pretty much what happens is Samuel tries to blame Noah Bennett and tries to make him look like a bad guy by having one of his guys start shooting into his crowd of mutants, trying to show, oh, this is why we must gather together. These humans, these petty humans are evil. They can't accept us. We need a place where we can be accepted. And that's kind of where it kind of leads into. And a good episode from this season, the best episode that I was like, yes, I like this episode. A lot of the season was just meh. The episode The Wall, which is the second to last episode, was great. I really like that episode. You kind of see Peter and Sylar together, trapped inside their minds, and you're just like, okay, they're kind of understanding, right? Sylar's been they're stuck in this mind trap for like 5 years or something, and you kind of see that Sylar's like, I wish I didn't do all that stuff, and I know you're angry at me, but I'm sorry. I really want to make amends and try to get out of here together. And that was the best part about that episode, is you kind of see these two kind of be like, oh, well, yeah, if we need to get out of here, we gotta work together. So we must accept, what's happened and, kind of forgive each other, even though it's hard to forgive that. And then, that was one of the greater episodes. And then last episode, it was like, all right, you kind of the last episode was okay until the ending. The ending of the last episode, which was supposed to be season 5, remember, was Claire did this thing in season 1 where she would jump off a shit and go, this is attempt number, whatever. And she does that in front of all these news cameras and things like that in the last episode. And it's like, no, you had a content season. You had a content season and you just ruined it. This is why your show did not get a season 5. Because you did that. You were going to start the whole Nathan Petrelli thing all over again. You were going to, do the mutant roundup and things like that. And no, we do not need that here. Don't do it. Don't. Because you know what you'd be doing? You'd be screwing yourself over in writing once again. And the network saw that. I think people started to see that too, that they were just running low on ideas at this point. With how, just kind of how bland season 4 was. Except for, a couple episodes in there. And, the last episode. It was like, we're done. We're done. You're drunk. Go home. Go home, writers. Go home. You're drunk. You're drunk. You're clearly drunk. And that's what I hope that they refine in Heroes Reborn when it comes out. If this writing is anywhere near season 4 or 3's writing, Heroes is dead. Heroes was good. Season 1, Season 2. Season 2 was not as good, but it was still okay. Season 3 and 4's writing were bad. It was bad writing. If that bad writing comes into Heroes Reborn, screw it. No longer liking Heroes. Because they had a great concept at the beginning, and they killed it. It's kind of like, it's if they keep going down this writing route with Heroes Reborn, they're going to hit franchise fatigue. Right? Everyone's tired of Heroes now because Heroes was good, and then they ruined it. And that's what I hope Heroes Reborn doesn't do. Because Season 4 and Season 3, no matter what you're going to tell me, I'm going to go, yeah, wasn't good. Wasn't good seasons at all. Couldn't keep me interested in Season 4, and you made me angry with Season 3. So, that's what I have to say about Season 3 and Season 4. It's just, I know it turns into this angry rant and everything like that, and there's so much anger for those seasons, but you have to know from watching any series that season 3 and season 4 were angry. Like, there's a reason to be angry there for people who loved season 1 and were okay with season 2. Season 2 wasn't bad. It was just short. It was too short to really make anything. Which you can say 2, 3, and 4 are bad, but I think 2, if they had more time, what could have been okay. I liked their ideas in season 2, but I didn't like how they executed it. Season 3, I hated their ideas. I hated how they executed it. In season 4, I hated how they executed it because it was so boring. None of it really stood out to me, and none of it I really cared about in season 4. So that's where I kind of stand on it. On season 4 and season 3 at least, and season 1 and season 2. So yeah, it's just, you had a good idea at the beginning, and then you went downhill. And hopefully Heroes Reborn, you took some time to think about writing. You didn't write while drunk. You didn't try to take influence from anything else. You just kind of thought to yourself, okay, well, what would be a fun story to tell? What would be interesting to tell? I think once you get thrown into the drama category, you try to over-dramatize it. And I feel like that's what happened in season 3, and they're like, okay, we over-dramatized it. Let's cut back a little bit. But they cut back too much, to the point where you couldn't really care. And season 1 had the perfect amount of drama, perfect amount of sci-fi. Season 2, you had a little too much sci-fi and a little too less drama, I would say. And then season 3, you had way too much drama and way too... Like, you still had sci-fi throughout all 4 episodes, but season 3 had the least amount of sci-fi creativity. You started seeing people with the same powers kind of come back, and I think you kind of saw that in season 2, though. But you kind of saw, like, all this kind of mesh together, and it's just like... I'm just going to stop talking about season 3, since I think I made my point. And I think I made my point with most of this, so I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you guys have at least understood what my rant is with this show. So if you guys would care to leave a like, if you really liked my points and you agreed with them, please leave a like. If you didn't like it, a sympathy like is, or if you didn't like it or didn't care about it, leave a sympathy like. I really appreciate those. If you really believe in what I've said, make sure you favorite. And if you want others to kind of see my angry, yelly bits at this, share it with your friends, because that's how you get a video to grow, and I kind of want my videos to grow a little bit. So if you guys would be willing to do that, that would be great. I'll keep up kind of like these 50 Thoughts videos. They've been doing really well, by the way, so thank you guys for doing that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for all the angriness towards the end of the video, but as always, stay frosty, guys.